Elections have consequences. We say that a lot on this show. And this week, we are seeing in real time the consequences of Donald Trump spending 4 years in office, stacking the courts with conservative lackeys. In Texas, any moment now, we will hear a decision in what could be the most consequential ruling on abortion rights since the reversal of Roe v. Wade. One single Trump-appointed judge will decide whether to ban a pill that accounts for more than half of all abortions nationwide. And tomorrow, Samuel Alito's Supreme Court, you know, the one that overturned Roe in the first place, will hear arguments on President Biden's student loan cancellation plan and ultimately decide the fate of 26 million borrowers. For many of them, $10,000 to $20,000 of loan forgiveness could be life-changing. Joining me now is Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. I have so much to talk to you about, but I do want to go back and start with the abortion ruling. This actually scares me a lot because with this one judge's ruling, you know, women, more than half of women who need this care would lose access to it. Right. Are you hopeful? Are you worried?
So I'm very worried, and I'm not worried because of the law. I'm worried about one extremist judge. So let's set the table here on what happens. As you know, a little over half of all abortions now are medication abortions. It's a drug called mifepristone. It's been approved for over a decade. It's been out there. It's been used. It's safe, very, very safe. And now we've got one judge who says down in Texas, you know, I looked at this and I don't think so. And he thinks somehow he can override the FDA on its scientific judgment about mifepristone. And so what we're all worried about is that he's going to take it off the market. Now, keep in mind, remember how a lot of us said back when Dobbs came down? Yeah. That they're going after abortion nationwide. Nationwide. So this is about taking mifepristone, access to medication abortion, off the market everywhere. Right. Not just in states.
Blue states too.
It's blue states as well. It's everywhere.
And and the thing that worries me most is that we have a United States Senate that's sane, but we have a House that is non-functional. And so even if Congress could respond on the Senate side to try to restore the access to the drug, the House is the House. Right. So what will happen?
Well, you have to remember, though, the president is not without tools. Okay. So there are things that the president would be able to do here. There are things that the FDA would be able to do. It's so interesting. You know, this is a moment when you really are looking to see what's everything that's available, things that were designed not for a situation like this, but can you pick them up and use them? Yeah. So, for example, the FDA has the ability to keep a drug on the market, even if it is not a drug that has been approved. Okay. That is, letting this Texas judge have his way on this, if there is a drug application pending. Okay. Or if we had a public health emergency. Okay. That might be a path for creating access to mifepristone. But the real point here is to use every tool possible to keep access to abortion available to people all across this country. And that's what we're going to do.
Let's go on to student loans, because this is an issue that I think hits so many people close to home. I mean, $10,000 to $20,000 to somebody like, you know, Rick Scott is nothing. It's pocket change in his pocket. But for a lot of people, it's the difference between being able to afford a home or not, or being able to start a business or not, or just being able to breathe or not. How is it possible that we could have the same crowd that said we're not allowed to own our bodies say, you know what? Those members of Congress that got those loans and got them forgiven, they can have that, but you can't have.
That's right. Those big businesses that got loans, and those airlines. Banks. Remember when the banks got all that money?
Remember, it was lots.
That was okay. Yeah. That was okay, but not individuals. And notice on this one in particular, it was okay when Donald Trump said he was going to cancel in the middle of the pandemic all of the interest for everybody. Yep. Rich people, poor people, everybody in between. If you had student loan debt, Donald Trump didn't say, we're going to put off your interest payments or we're going to put them off for people who can't pay. He said, everybody across the board, I'm done. How many Republicans raised a hand and said, I have a problem with that?
I'm guessing none.
That's right. It's a nice round number. It's 0, none. Courts did not get involved. So now what we've got is we've got this program that would be so much help to so many people. 90% of the help will go to people who earn less than $75,000 a year. Yeah. Remember, 40% of these folks do not have a college diploma. Yep. These are folks, this is an opportunity to help close the racial wealth gap in America. Half of all Latinos will see all their debt wiped out with this. A third of all African Americans could see all their debt wiped out. So it's something that would be so helpful to people. And now what we've got is a Supreme Court, at least threatening, to step in and say, you know, I know that's what the statute says. Yeah. but they want to substitute their judgment for the judgment of elected officials in Congress and an elected president of the United States.
It's a trend, Alito and company.
It is. Pulling the power to themselves to advance an extremist agenda that they could never get through with elected officials.
Well, let's talk about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. One of the most powerful parts of President Biden's State of the Union is when he talked about how much people are overcharged.
Yes.
Everyone feels this,
Junk
whether it's
fees,
airlines,
right?
junk fees.
All of it.
What is the threat to the Supreme Court against the CFPB?
So this one's crazy. Remember the CFPB? It has saved ordinary consumers about $13 billion so far, and who knows how much that they didn't get cheated on. This is money that was returned directly to consumers. So what's happened is one of the, you'll love this, the payday lenders, because those are the people we got to watch out for.
Yeah.
The payday lenders, CFPB's put out a new rule saying, you know, you got to kind of do a little better on disclosure on what you do with people. Payday lenders have said, you know, I don't like the way the CFPB is financed. They don't go to Congress to get financed. They do this through fees.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They do it through fees exactly the same way the Federal Reserve Bank does.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly the same way that the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency does.
Yeah.
Oh, the same way that the FDIC does. Oh, the same way that the overseer of the credit unions does. So in other words, all of our banking regulators have all been financed outside the appropriations process. And that's been true since 1863 when the first banking regulator was put in place. And the reason for that is deliberately to try to insulate them from political influence. Wow. That's a decision Congress made and has reaffirmed and made over and over and over since 1863. And now we've got a Supreme Court that wants to put itself in the position of saying that it is more important to protect payday lenders than it is to keep an agency up in the way that Congress set it up so that it can protect tens of millions of consumers all across this country.